This should sound better. This is better. Should be better, right? Okay, good. Cool.
Guy for 7 days. I'll be going over the whole process from account creation to results to analytics.
This is the type of content you can appreciate from an Asian man. Analytics and pie charts. Wow, this is insane.
With many young men giving up on dating, complaining about apps, and facing a loneliness epidemic.
Of course, when people complain and they get their facts, it's always from Reddit. Interesting. Not a good place, by the way, if you really want solid dating advice.
I wanted to conduct this experiment to show the reality of online dating for men. Here's a little bit about my background. I'm 25 years old, 173 cm tall, have a lean physique, am self-employed, and live in Singapore with a population of about 6 million people. I used the free version of the app with 0 in-app purchases and ran the experiment for 1 week. On day 1, I spent...
Yeah, dude. You're playing life on hard mode on free version? Come on, man. Dude, you're like a tech entrepreneur, self-employed guy who makes a lot of money and you won't spend any on the paid version. I mean, even if you're a good-looking guy, Tinder is fucking pay to play now, dude. Like, this isn't a charity thing. Like, Tinder has employees. They're not gonna try to get you laid just because they're nice. I mean, it's a company, it's a business model. So, all right, let's see what he's got to say.
About 5 minutes filling out my profile, like my birthday, gender, and preferences. For the distance, I set it to a default of 80 kilometers.
That is the whole circumference of Singapore, pretty much.
Also set my lifestyle habits, personality, and interests. For pictures, I added a few seated photos.
Those are pretty bad pictures.
With a clear view of my face and a mirror selfie. There are a couple of disadvantages worth noting. The first is that I don't have the best pictures because I haven't had a professional photo shoot before. The second is that I don't have a full head of hair, which is a negative point because it's typically linked with military service. After completing the onboarding process, I started swiping on a bunch of profiles. The plan is to swipe right on those who are at least average in looks and around my age. I'm not going to swipe right on every single profile because that will skew the results of this experiment. Over the next few days, I will continue swiping until...
What year is this, by the way? Let me take a look. 10 months ago. So this is 2025.
I hit the limit, which was about 25 right swipes every 12 hours. On the first day, I got a total of 12 likes. This is due to the noob boost that new profiles have, which I'll talk more about later. Then, it drastically plummeted over the next few days, and I'm barely getting any likes. It seemed like my profile wasn't being shown to as many people anymore after 24 hours. Another setback that dating apps have like Tinder is that they do not show you the number of impressions that your profile gets. For example, when you upload a video to YouTube, you can see the number of impressions it gets on YouTube Studio. A high click-through rate indicates that your video is clickable. However, dating apps strategically hide this statistic, so you will never know your impression to swipe ratio.
Yeah, no shit.
For the rest of the week, I tried my best to hit the swipe limit. However, even after swiping for 7 days, I still wasn't able to review all of my likes. Overall, I spent about 10 minutes a day swiping on the app. This might not seem like a lot.
By the way, some side note here. I've been in Singapore and I did not see that many attractive women. I mean, there's a lot of malls in Singapore. Unfortunately, I brought a girl there when I was there, but didn't see a lot of attractive women. The competition is insane. Like, everybody is a fucking multimillionaire in Singapore. It is probably one of the most, it's on par with New York, right? So you got to understand your demographics. If you're already making a Tinder profile in Singapore, it's kind of like when you're dating in New York. You're competing against the the finance bros, the hedge fund guys, the VCs. So yeah, real smart of this guy to look like he came straight out of the military, making minimum wage. Makes a lot of sense.
But if I were to spend a year doing this, I would have wasted 3,650 minutes of my time, excluding conversations, if nothing came out of it. It's now time for the results. After using Tinder for a week, I swiped a total of 446.
I need this guy to do my my visual aids. All right, so swiped 447 times.
7 times. Out of those 447 swipes, I swiped right about 252 times and got 8 matches. Out of the 252 right swipes, 244 of them were no match. However, I managed to get a total of 14 likes on the app, 7 of which are still hidden. Despite swiping for over 447 times, I was still unable to review those likes. These results may seem depressing, but if you take a look at the average match rate for men, I'm almost on par with it. According to Tinder Insights, men have an average match rate of 2.5%, while women have an average match rate of 33%. This means that women are 13 times more likely to find a match on Tinder as compared to men. Apart from these statistics, what I've realized after using the app for a few days is that there are almost no locals. I live in Singapore, and the vast majority of Tinder users are either foreigners or permanent residents. The app has seriously gone downhill after COVID, and I remember that it wasn't like this back in 2018 to 2019. It's time to come clean and talk a bit about what I've learned.
To be honest, I don't think the apps were that good before COVID either. In my opinion, like the golden years of dating apps was like the best years when Tinder was amazing was like 2012. I mean, I don't even think Tinder was that great 2018 or 2019.
I've actually used Tinder in the past, averaged a match a week for about 2 years, and had a number of conversations off the app. However, these conversations were a waste of time because no relationships came out of them. It felt almost impossible to make it out of the talking stage because of inconsistent messages, ghosters, and flakers. That was from 2018 to 2019, but for some reason, it feels much worse today. When it comes to online dating, both men and women suffer setbacks. Generally, men have too little options, while women have too many options. Part of this is because men
All
significantly
right,
outnumber
new graph. Let's take a look at this. See what the comment says. This is why you use a bot to make a database.
women on dating apps with a 2-to-1 gender ratio. Another part is the huge difference in pickiness. According to an interview with Tinder CEO, men swipe right about 46% of the time, while women only do so 14% of the time. However, this interview was conducted 10 years ago.
It's gone down a lot. I don't think women swipe 14%. Right.
According to new data by Tinder Insights, women only swipe right 7% of the time in 2025. As a woman, having an abundance of choices can lead to inundation, poor, or regrettable decisions. On the other hand, as a man, if you don't look like a model or you don't have Instagrammable photos, you are practically invisible on these apps. That being said, even if you are a Chad, you would still underperform the average woman in terms of likes and matches, which I'll talk about in a moment. In addition, using dating apps takes a huge toll on your mental health. There are definitely success stories, and meaningful relationships can be formed through them. However, for the average guy with mediocre photos and looks, it's better to stay off the apps because the negatives outweighs the positives. The amount of time taken to swipe and converse only to get nowhere is better used doing something productive like hitting the gym or starting a side hustle. As I mentioned earlier, dating apps like Tinder
I like how he gives advice that he doesn't listen to. He's like, yeah, you know what? Dating, online dating is not very strategic if you have bad pictures. Proceeds to use bad pictures. And he was like, yeah, they go into the gym, the ROI is higher. Proceeds to not work out ever.
do not show you the number of impressions your profile gets, so you'll never know how many people view your profile and the percentage who swipe right on it. After all, conventional dating apps are designed to encourage male users to spend money on them by limiting visibility, likes, and matches. Tinder's Noob Boost proves this point because you'll find the most success on the app in the first 24 hours. After a week, your profile's visibility will fall off a cliff. The Noob Boost is a feature that gives you a dopamine rush and sets an expectation that the app works. After the initial boost, Tinder will drastically reduce your profile's visibility. And it's not just you. This happens to almost every single male profile, including high-quality ones. This is proven by the YouTuber Reed Waffles, who conducted an experiment using expertly enhanced professional photos of himself. The initial spike in the number of matches is caused by the Noob Boost, which benefits new profiles. After 48 hours, his number of daily matches went from 43 to an average about 5. The psychological trick is that you are shown how good the app could be thanks to the boost, and now you are tempted to pay to get back to that level. Theoretically, you could game the system by occasionally deleting and recreating your profile, but that could put your account at risk of getting banned. If you have disposable income and you're looking for experience, sites like Seeking Arrangement or Rent a Date services
Oh, my boy knows about seeking arrangement. Did his research.
are all honestly better alternatives. Otherwise, you'll probably find more success with cold approaches. According to a study done by OkCupid, women find 80%.
Why are we still? I don't understand. Like, it's like every dating reference mentions OkCupid from like 20 years ago. Why are we still using OkCupid data? Shit's fucking outdated. When was the last time somebody went on a date with a girl from OkCupid? Why are we still talking about it?
Of men on the app unattractive, and a mere 5% considered most attractive. On the other hand, men rate women across a wider spectrum with because men swipe right at almost everyone and then look at the results. Earlier in this video, I shared 40% of the time on average. Social media platforms like TikTok take the disparity in how women perceive male attractiveness to the next level. One user mentioned that there are maybe 5 attractive men in the entire world.
Oh my God.
If out of 3 million, stay away from the.
Okay, so these are his pictures, my guy. I mean, he's actually like pretty in shape. I don't know what happened between the first picture and the second picture, but he actually works out. He still looks kind of small, but yeah, dude, you live in Singapore, my guy. Have you ever like for those of you who haven't been to Singapore, like do you know what it looks like? I mean, have you walked around the Marina Bay Sands? Just hold on.
The most expensive hotel ever built, Singapore's iconic Marina Bay Sands
Look at this.
Hotel comprises 3 55-story towers, 2,560 luxury rooms and suites, and 18 different room types. Crowning the 3 hotel towers at 200 meters, 656 feet in the sky.
This is what Singapore looks like. I stayed here for one night. It was like $500 a night.
The Sands Sky Park rooftop
Yeah, they have like rooftop infinity pools. This is what you're competing with, right? And so it makes no sense that you're using the free version of Tinder. Even if you're a good-looking guy, the free version of Tinder is not going to give you anything. It's a complete waste of time, right? And he's got like a one-piece costume. Let's go back to his previous picture. These are
habits. I added a.
Okay, so these are his pictures, right? So all of them, he's wearing glasses. He's got the buzz cut. If you're an Asian guy, you absolutely do not want to use a buzz cut. It's just most Asian guys don't look good in a buzz cut. You look like a Chinese communist soldier. Okay, you know, you got a bathroom selfie. You got a picture of you sitting at a wooden bench, and then you're wearing an oversized t-shirt, right? Compared to some of the ball. Look, dude, you just look at you know, if you just do some Google of Singapore and you'll realize the amount of wealth, the amount of sugar daddies, the amount, you know what I mean? And also like the enhanced version of Tinder is like what, $20-$30 a month. So for anybody that's using Tinder, you should not be using the free version. Like any dating site or any, you know, whether it's Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, you should absolutely be paying for the premium. Even with the premium, it's not really that good. So, does he have more to say?
Also started my own media property, investing, affiliate marketing, and a couple of YouTube channels.
He has work on this guy. He needs to work on his money game. I think he's converted his channel to finance. Doesn't seem like he's making a lot of videos here. Okay, all right.
Broke, struggling.
Okay, so apparently he's a millionaire now. So he went from broke to millionaire in 24 months. Well, the whole point of making money is to employ some of that capital to enhance your aesthetics, right? So he still hasn't changed the way he looks.
That's when I realized that.
Okay, so he became a millionaire 6 months after making that profile video, and he grew out his hair by like a centimeter, and this is the best he's done. So, yeah, look, man, I'm going to show you what types of pictures you should have on your Tinder profile. So I own the website Vegas Tinder Photography. Okay, so there is, let's see, there's me. Work with Mike. But yeah, let me just show you some of the pictures. what he has, right? Let me show you. Where's the Tinder one? There we go.
them by limiting about apps epidemic with 5 years of employed in-app purchase for 1 week. Face and mirrors.
Okay. So these are his pictures. And then these are the pictures I've gotten from my clients, right? So upscale high-end resorts in Vegas. So this is in near the city center, right across the street from Aria. This is inside the Aria. One of my clients got a penthouse suite inside Cosmopolitan. So this is the balcony. Did some shots here. This guy's like a baller, like Persian dude. Works in real estate or finance. This guy, he hosts fashion events in London. So we did some shoots in Brazil. This is in Sao Paulo. Did some photo shoots in Dubai. But yeah, you should absolutely, like, if you're not going to get professional photo shoots, you should just not do online dating. You're going to waste your time. You should absolutely go to the gym, learn cold approach. Okay. Because online dating is one of those things where you should spend as much time to get it set up to optimize before you think about it, right? Like, it's the same as running Instagram ads. It's the same as like running commercials. If your product sucks, if your commercial sucks, you probably shouldn't be giving Facebook and Instagram millions of dollars to run a shitty campaign. The same thing with your dating profile, right? Because your only metric is the pictures. So you should spend as much money, as much energy, as much planning to get that profile built up before you should even spend 1 minute on swiping. So this is a client of mine. We did this photo shoot in Thailand, right? Clearly he works out. We did some action shots. We're doing Muay Thai. This guy, Indian entrepreneur, lives in Dubai, went to Bali, flew to Vegas to work with me. Yeah, this is the type of stuff, right? Every picture needs to tell a story. Okay, he's a DJ. He's doing this, right? Same thing. He's at an exclusive rooftop restaurant. When girls like your pictures, they can see themselves like on a date with you, right? That one's kind of over the top. And this guy, typical Indian guy, nothing super special about this picture, but he's a handsome looking guy on this picture, right? Haircut on point. His jawline's on point, right? His beard is trimmed, right? Clearly works out. Clothes fitted. Good accessories, right? I use my bunny for this picture here. Just good lighting, good aesthetics, cute bunny. There's a conversational hook there. Let's see here. Let me show you some of the results of my pictures here. All right, so this is an Asian doctor, worked with me in Vegas. Okay, I think he's in like radiology. Right? I took his pictures, took them out, and this is what he's dating. Like a fucking 10 out of 10 Latina. I don't know where she's from. I think she's from like Ecuador, right? White dude from Dubai, kind of a nerdy computer science software engineer, meets a fine ass girl, right? And I just want to show you the difference like pictures can do. Let's see here. Wheat waffles prevents. What the hell is this? Wheat waffles parents disowned him because of his channel. I don't know who that is. Maybe you can enlighten me. All right, so pictures make a huge difference, right? Just adding a suit can convey a certain image, right? This guy really leveled up his finances, right? Before he was like a dude working at a hotel front desk. Now he's like a high ticket closer. Changed his life, changed his image. I'm pretty sure my photo shoots have gotten him hundreds of dates, right? Dude. Just a makeover, good lighting, proper angles, some good accessories can turn you from a 40-year-old version to a 27-year-old looking, fit guy. Same thing with this. This is the guy that was in my previous pictures. But anyways, I'm gonna share with you guys my StreamYard link. If you guys want to get your profiles reviewed, I'm down to do that. So I'm gonna post the StreamYard in here. Go ahead and click that and join the chat with me. So what else? I've been kind of going back and forth. So half of my photo shoots are in Vegas and then the other half are in Thailand. Both have its pros and cons. I think Vegas is some really good spots. Just the casinos are really nice. Just a lot of upscale lobbies, a lot of restaurants. Red Rock is pretty cool. You can rent out luxury cars. Thailand's cool. One of the things I like about Thailand is I think the employees and the public restaurants, whatever, they're not too fussy about you taking pictures. The challenge I have in Vegas is, you can get banned taking pictures inside casinos because they don't know what the fuck you're doing. And if you're carrying a big DSLR, sometimes you get annoyed, right? They're like, hey, you shouldn't be using professional cameras inside the casinos. We don't know what you're doing. Could be a security risk, or they also don't like it that you're making money off of them. So Vegas can be a pain in the ass, even though there are some really high end, really high status places you can take pictures. Bangkok has been really amazing. The thing I like about Thailand is there's a lot of animal cafes. So dog cafes. Japan has cat cafes. Those are really good. Having animals in your pictures are very it's just good, right? I think every dating profile should have an animal picture. I used to have a really cute bunny. Her name was Lola, but she passed away. It was a good 8 years. I was able to use her for a lot of photo shoots for clients. And what else about Thailand is because there are so many malls, you have your M Sphere, M Quartier, you can knock out like a full days of photo shoot within like a mile radius. You don't have to go to that many places. Yes, opening up for questions. Do you guys have any Tinder related questions? Dating related questions? Let me know. If you want me to review your Instagram, post your Instagram link. I can take a look. What else? There's certain things that you really have to pay attention when you're doing photo shoots, and it is obviously the fitting of your clothes. Your eyes are a big deal. A lot of guys don't understand how to pose your eyes. Okay, so if your eyes look too big, it's not confident. I know it sounds weird, but if you squint your eyes and you make your eyes smaller, you actually exude more confidence. So in photography terms, it's called a squinch. Okay. It's actually, instead of bringing your upper eyelids down, you bring your lower eyelids up. So it's kind of like that. This is a squinch. If your eyes are big, you have the deer in the headlights look. It actually looks really bad. As far as smiling, it depends on person to person. For some guys, they look better without smiling. For some guys, it looks better with smiling. It's one of those things where you just have to tweak a lot. So whenever I do pictures for clients, I will take 100 pictures before I find one that I like, right? You really have to iterate. This is not something that you can take one picture by chance and you think you have a good shot. So some guys have a better left side. Some guys have a better right side, depending on how your hairline is, depending on how your nose, right? I have guys that with really prominent nose features, they look better head on, right? If you have like a big Jewish nose and you turn to the side, it's not very attractive, right? Same thing with the jawline. If you don't have a jaw, if you don't have a chin, you don't want to take shots from the side. right? So these are all the things I'm looking at when I'm taking pictures. Any questions, guys? Post your questions in the comments section. I feel like so many guys are scared to show their social media online. Um, over 50% of my clients on sales calls don't really have much of an Instagram, or they're very conscious about a lot of guys are very conscious about what they put out. Okay. Uh, and what I would say is this: it's better to be cringe and put yourself out there than be invisible, right? The worst thing about dating is nobody knows you exist, okay? And I think a lot of guys have this perception that, if we put out content, that the whole world is going to judge us and we're going to look like a fool. But the reality is, for a lot of us that have been doing content, it's really fucking hard to go viral. It's really fucking hard to get social media or any distribution channels to even show you to more than, outside of your followers. So, yeah, I would encourage you guys, especially if you haven't started your Instagram, if you haven't started optimizing your dating profiles, to do that. Put yourself out there. Um, the only way you're going to get better is by iterating off of that. It doesn't seem like people want to show their Instagrams for me to review, so I'll end it at that. Um, yeah, man, a lot of studies, a lot of experiments don't need to be done. Like, we watched this video here. You kind of already know the answers to, you know what I mean? I don't think this guy found any breakthroughs, right? Like, you don't need to eat shit to know that it probably tastes really bad, right? You probably don't need to run an experiment with data and spreadsheets looking like this and not optimizing your profile, right? So the last thing I'm going to say is, if you're going to do dating, do it right and do it all the way, right? You should do it where, try to be top 10%. And if you can, be a top 5% guy, right? And it shouldn't be that hard. If you work on anything for 6 months to 12 months, you should be top 10%, right? Like, it doesn't take that long to become top 10% in cold approach. So dating, all this stuff that I'm teaching, all this stuff that I'm putting out on my YouTube, just understand that with everything in life now, the middle class is shrinking. The same goes with money. The same goes with dating. The same goes with real estate. There is no middle class, right? You're either successful or you're broke. Okay. Same thing with dating. You either get girls or you don't get any. And so you need to get enough competence to pass a certain threshold, right? No anime eye. Yeah, dude. If you're a guy and your eyes are like this, some Indian, I think with Asians, we don't have the problem of having like too big eyes. But sometimes I'll get white guys, or Indian guys have really big eyes. If you have really big eyes as an Indian guy, I actually tell them to fuck, dude. Let me try to find this guy. Indian guy with, hold on, let me find this Indian guy with bulging eyes. Fuck, where is this guy? I can't find the exact dude, but I'll just show this, right? Right? This is a guy with big eyes. It doesn't look attractive. You just look like you're fucking. So what happens when you have big eyes? It doesn't look good. You want to look squinched. Okay, so usually when I have Indian dudes, I tell them to make their eyes a little bit smaller. So let's see, what other comments do we have here? Should I use AI to cover up blemishes? Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of like faking your life. I would rather, I think a little bit of touch up is okay. If you have some blemishes, you have some wrinkles, that's okay. But some of these guys are using full blown AI to like, you, how do I? The goal is not to get a girl to match you, right? So that's the thing, right? Like a lot of guys, when it comes to dating, they're thinking very short term, right? It's like, oh, if I just fake my life and I use AI and I show girls that I've been all these fucking places that I haven't been to, that I win at dating. But you got to understand, matching a girl is not the end goal, right? Matching the girl is like first 2%. You know what I'm saying? So let me see here. It's my Instagram, it's not the goal, dude. Matching the girl is like, it's not going to get you very far, right? First, you got to match the girl, then you got to have a conversation, then you got to have a date, right? If all your pictures are AI, that means wherever you've been to, you don't have a story behind that, right? Like, for example, um, this picture, I was in Costa Rica, and me and my buddies volunteered at a school, and we helped out the community in San Jose, Costa Rica, right? So I have a story behind that, right? This is in Cartagena. I took a girl there and we went to like this beach club. So I have a story there, right? Um, this is when my friend was I went there in Hawaii. My buddy was getting married. This is Oahu. I have a fucking story there, right? So like every picture has a story that can share. So you don't want to just, here's my engineering books. I didn't just use AI to tell girls like, yo, I'm a chemical engineer. And like, no, like if she asked me, oh, what did you learn about, Neil Campbell Biology 101? Well, I can tell her about Punnett squares, if she wants to, if she was like, oh, what did you learn in, thermodynamics? I can tell her about fucking entropy and enthalpy and phase diagrams. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to use too much AI. You can use some blemish removal. If some girl's like, oh, like, what the fuck were you doing in Peru? I could be like, oh, I was there to do ayahuasca. I went to Iquitos. I did two weeks of ayahuasca retreat. We did meditation, this and that. There's a story behind that, right? So yeah, you don't want to make too much bullshit on your. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like, for those of you that follow me, I'm all about like just being the best, just being solid all around build, right? So let's see here. Hey, what's up? Do you know what to say to my what? Do you know what to say to my girl? I don't know what to say to your girl. I've never met your girl. All right, guys. Well, shit, dude. A whole bunch of guys showed up. Do you guys have any online dating questions? Texting, dating, photography, travel, Instagram, DM, story. Let me know. I'm gonna hop off pretty soon and hit the gym. So I keep looking like for Valentine's Day. Yeah, it is Valentine's Day coming up in 4 days. So hopefully you guys all have dates. And if you don't have dates, this might be some motivation to go out and meet some more girls. Anything else? Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. I also shot a whole bunch of content breaking down my Vegas 100 that will be trickling out over the next let's see, what was your body count? Well, in the hundreds, somewhere between like 300 and 1,000. I lost count, bro. I stopped counting after like 150, so I don't know. But that's not really important. Again, it's something that you can really inflate. Body count, if you go for easy girls and if you're just, it's I don't find it enjoyable. Like even now, sometimes I'll go on a date, even if I get laid, it'll be like 2 a.m. I fuck up my sleep schedule. You get the lay, and the next morning you're unproductive. You don't get shit done. if I could take back my lay, I probably would take it back. I would subtract a lay just to be productive the next day. But I think on a side note here, lay counts matter. From 0 to 20 probably matters a lot for your dating experience. From 20 to 50, it starts to matter a lot less. I think after 50, it's pretty quickly a diminishing return. And then after that, it's more about the quality of the girls. And you should really start focusing on retention and long-term dating, right? Because there are a lot of guys that who's messaging me. Says, "What's up?" Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that's stuck on 2,000 late count, but like no girl wants to stick around longer than one date. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.